It's time to create a profitable, scalable, and sustainable studio for yourself and your students. Welcome to Dance Studio Empire. I'm Jen, dance studio owner for 30 years, running multiple locations with over 1,000 students, dance business coach turned mastermind mentor for dance studio owners, creatives, and leaders like you. I know you're committed to growing your studio and creating the time and financial freedom you most want, while also being the best in the industry with a reputation to match. I've coached hundreds of studio owners who have grown to 250, 500, and over 1,000 students using my signature studio scaled method. And in this podcast, I'll give you the clarity, strategy, and CEO mindset to help you do the same. Let's dive in. Hey there, Dance Fam, and welcome back to another episode of the Dance Studio Empire podcast. I first of all just want to say I've just recently listened back to a podcast episode that I recorded recently, and I never do that. I never listen back, so I don't even know what they sound like. However, I just was looking for a certain part of information, and I went back and I was so breathy and it sounded like I had emphysema. So I really do apologize for that. And I do have a new microphone, which I've been using now for several months. So hopefully I've attached the fluffy bit to the microphone. So maybe that will take away the sounds of me sounding like I have asthma or emphysema, like I've been smoking for my whole life and I've never had a cigarette in my life. So so let's just see how this goes this week. Anyway, now I brought your attention to it, you'll probably hear it a lot worse now. But anyway, let's get into today's episode. It's all about how to manage your time like a CEO. Now, last week I actually touched on the benefits of conducting a time and task audit. I don't know if you listened or not. You were able to actually just send me a message to download a template that I have, which you can use for yourself and also for your team. And I did have quite a few studio owners reach out for that. And so with that feedback, with some great feedback about that, and so I just figured that I would dive a little bit more deeper into this. And because if you're using the task and time audit, or maybe you know where and what you're spending your time on, then you can better manage it in a more efficient and balanced way. Because remember, our goal is to continue to grow and scale your studio. You want to run it like a boss, but you also want to do it in a way that doesn't break you. So that's what today's episode is about. And I'm going to start by talking about the benefits of why you might want to manage your time a little better. So first of all is productivity. So if you're allocating specific time blocks to the various tasks that we need to do, it's then just going to ensure that each of those tasks gets the right amount of attention. And that, of course, is then going to lead to productivity and output, better output. So that's the first benefit. The next one is for creative development. Now, we live in a creative world. We are continually having to create in our job, and for some people find that really easy, others don't. And so I find for myself managing my time better is better for my creative development. So whether this is setting time aside for choreography or creative works, it's just going to allow you to continue to innovate, develop the new routines or develop new concepts or ideas, which then maintains the artistic quality of your studio. So that's the benefit there. The next one is strategic planning. So that planning that we want to do for the long-term growth of your studio. So designating a CEO day, that will allow you to then focus on strategic planning and setting those goals, then giving you the steps that you need to do to achieve them. So that's what I find really beneficial with that. The next one is financial management. If you are dedicating a day a week just to check on your finances, it's going to help you monitor what's coming in, what's going out, how you're budgeting, and these and making big financial decisions needs to come down to this information, because you want to ensure that the health of your studio, your financial health of your studio is at its best. The next one is efficient communication. So I just find that time blocking for your emails and call returns just ensures, firstly, like a timely response to your inquiries and bookings, but it also allows you to keep regular communication with your team, with your students, with your parents. So in all, it just fosters that really positive relationship as if you're on top of your communication. Next thing is your administration. So allocating time for those admin tasks, such as scheduling or marketing. Those are the things some of us find easy, some of us don't. But if you are managing that time for those tasks, it just ensures that it's just smooth operations, and it prevents you from not doing something or not getting something done, or from it all just piling up. And I know from my own experience, if things start piling up, it almost gets too hard to do, and then nothing gets done at all. So that's what I've found really beneficial. Next one is just that work-life blend that we are all striving for. So having structured time management helps in maintaining that healthy work-life blend. And then this is going to be reducing your burnout, your stress, and just improving your overall well-being. Sorry, my words are messing up today. Okay, the next one, and this is one of my favorites, it improves my focus and efficiency. So I don't know about you, I have a squirrely brain, and so I start one task and then I'm like, oh, that's right, I needed to respond to that email. So I'll jump over to the email and I'll half do that. I'm like, oh, that's right, I needed to do that invoice. So I'll jump over to the invoice, and then I'm like, oh, I've got to get dinner on in slow cooker. So I'll jump out of the office and go put slow cooker on. And then it's like, I should change the washing over. So my brain is like this. So when I time block, it just encourages the focus and concentration on what I am doing, the task that I am doing. And so by minimizing those distractions and multitasking, and this just leads to task completion, really, and overall efficiency. The next one, it allows you to achieve your goals. So by dedicating time to goal setting and planning, you can track your progress, you can stay aligned with your objectives, and take proactive steps just to continue to achieve that long-term success of your business. And then finally is professional growth. So the ability for you to be able to work on your business and not just in it. So this is where we need to start thinking like a CEO, and by doing this work and setting this time aside, that's where you're going to learn. That's where you're going to upskill. Personal growth plus your professional development. And ultimately, it's giving you greater leadership skills. And so they are the main benefits that I see when it comes to managing your time better. Now, for me, this year, I have actually tried a new way of managing my time. This concept, it's not my own concept. It was taught to me by my business coach. And although I'm not running a studio anymore, you still may be able to take what I do and make it work for you. So I can first of all tell you that it really has made a difference to me. It's made a difference to my energy, and it's made a difference to my focus in getting tasks done and completed. So let me talk you through it. Okay, so for me, I look at my planning and scheduling across a month. And so within a month, on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, those are the only days that I will do one-on-one coaching, my group calls, my interviews. So things where I'm working with people because they just require my undivided attention, and all my thoughts and my energy are going into these things. And so that's on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. On a Monday, I use Monday as a prep day. And so it might be just implementing social media, it might be getting to invoices or emails, admin stuff, like even life admin stuff, renewing things, like if subscriptions are coming up. That's what I use for Monday. And I find that works because getting stuck into a Monday, I find the momentum needs to, for me, I need my momentum to be going so that I can fly through my week and feel successful at the end, I guess. So that's what I use Monday for. Then on a Friday, I use Friday as like an overflow day or a wrap up day. So if there were things that I needed to get done through the week that didn't get done, I will finish that on a Friday. I also use Friday to run errands if I have to get out of the office and go and do things, or for urgent appointments. So, if the dog needs to go to the vet, things like that, I put those ones in. What I tend not to do on those particular Fridays is book in for my personal stuff, because the last week of the month, so every fourth week of the month, I don't book in any calls or any interviews. I use this week as a planning week for the following month. So within this week, I might be creating strategies moving forward for the next thing that I'm launching. I try to record a couple of podcasts in advance. I use this time to strategize my social media or launch planning or work on content for any training or masterclasses or presentations that I'm giving. I also use this week for my personal time. So whether I've got a dentist appointment or I've got to take the car to the mechanic, I use this week to book in those appointments. And this is just purely because of how my brain works, but trying to do those types of appointments throughout the rest of, in a normal week, actually makes me feel quite stressed and overwhelmed, because I feel like I don't have time for that type of thing. And so by doing it this way, it's taken a lot of pressure off myself. This is purely just me, but it's taken that pressure off, and it's given me sort of that week to get this stuff done without feeling the guilt or feeling stressed that I'm not getting work done. And so that's been working really well. And the other thing too with this week is I've been trying to look at it as a celebration week. And so on the Friday of that last week, I like to book in something nice for me, whether it's a massage or a facial, catching up with a friend for coffee. That's my goal. I'm actually still yet to get there. So what are we, 4 months into the year? I've done this for 4 months. I still haven't got there yet, but that is the goal, to book in something nice just to celebrate at the end of that week as well. And so for me, by planning and scheduling out my time this way, this is how it ensures that I stay on track. It ensures that I'm being productive, but just able to manage my energy output, less exhaustion, less stress, less overwhelm. Because when I am coaching and when I am working with people, I give my undivided attention. Like, everything is about them. And so it takes a lot of energy and a lot of, brain power from me. And so this just allows me to not burn out, just keep track of everything. And, I think it makes me a better coach and a better person, a better family member too for my family. So that's what works for me. So maybe you can use some of this for yourself and schedule it in. Always happy to chat through if it's something that you want to chat about, how you might make this work for you. But now what I wanted to share with just some other tips that work for me now, but also worked for me when I was a studio owner. So these are just some ways that help me manage my time when I needed to be at the studio and I was still building the business and things like that. So maybe you can use some of these. Okay, so the first thing that I would do is a Sunday power hour. So I call it an hour. Sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't. But just reserving just a little bit of time on a Sunday to, whether you want to do a big planning session for the week ahead or organize tasks, or even if it was just to make a quick list of things that I needed to get to on Monday morning. It's because I found that I was getting into the office on a Monday and I'd sit in front of the computer and go, okay, what do I need to start with? And it was taking me a while to get momentum going. And so I just started, I heard it from someone else, it wasn't my own idea, but I heard from someone else just on that Sunday, jotting down some points or spending a bit of time planning out the week to get Monday started fast and well. And it makes a huge difference. I still do it to this day as well. Now, the next thing I did was setting specific times of the day to check and respond to emails and phone calls. So this way I could avoid the constant interruptions by batching this stuff together and doing it at one time. Now, I'm a realist, okay? I know realistically people say, like, check your emails once in the morning, check your emails once in the afternoon before you finish up the work. That idea didn't work for me. I just felt like I needed to check in more time. So I set a morning check-in, a lunch check-in, and then just before classes started. And so the morning one was usually bigger because I was responding to inquiries and emails from the night before. Lunch is usually just a few, and then of course before class. Because of our job, right, we can sometimes have emails come through the day that affect the night if we're going into the studio. So that's why I did. And of course, this will ramp up during busier seasons, like when you're starting the year out, you're getting closer to a concert or a performance. But then there will be times when it won't be as busy. So, you know, you might be able to just cut down to morning and before classes start. Whatever works for you, but I just encourage you to sort of block in those times so you're not continually being distracted by your inbox, because it interferes with the other tasks that you're trying to get done. Okay, next thing is I'd block off dedicated time for choreography or creativity. So when I was choreographing, so for a few years I haven't choreographed a lot of stuff. So, but even just the ideas of ensuring the quality of the creativity throughout the concerts, or if we're doing theme weeks, things like that, I used to just block out time for that. Now, for some of you, you may enjoy or prefer to choreograph each day before a class that you're going to teach. Some of you might like to do it all in one go. So I was an all in one go, so I'd choreograph for the week. And so I would block out time to get all the choreography done for the dances for the week. This is completely up to you and how it works for you. But I did find, knowing that I had that time coming up, I wasn't constantly worrying about, am I going to be able to get my routines done? Am I going to be prepared enough? So that worked really well for me. Okay, managing the admin and paperwork side of things. So how I did this, and how I still do this to this day, is with a timer. So I find it hard to stay focused on stuff like this, particularly if it's pretty boring. And I know there is stuff we just have to do as business owners. But what I would do is set a timer. Again, not my concept, not my idea. This was from someone else. But set a timer just on my phone for 50 minutes. And in that 50 minutes, I just had to sit at my computer with that one task and not do anything else. No breaks, no toilets, no water, no distraction, no changing tasks. And I just find this still works really well for me. So maybe this is something, if you're finding yourself being distracted or unable to get through those more boring side of things, but try that. So just 50 minutes on the stopwatch on my phone, and then I can't move until that timer goes off. And let me tell you, that 50 minutes goes fast. When I know I'm working to that 50 minutes, the other thing with that is at the 50 minutes, get up at that point, move around, have a drink, and sit back down again and go again. Don't keep working through, because it will break the cycle. But I have definitely found that. So yeah, maybe try that. Okay, next thing is checking in for your updated studio numbers. So look, this is like your trials that are coming through, your conversion rates, your retention rates. Look, suggestion-wise, I would look at this weekly. I didn't used to do it that often, but you know, as things are getting more crucial with numbers, checking on this weekly is just going to be beneficial for you as the studio owner. During peak times of the year, so beginning of the year when you've got lots of new enrollments coming through, there's quite a bit of movement happening, then I would definitely be checking weekly. As things settle down, you might not need to check every week. It might be something you can do every fortnight or once a month, just to keep it across the trends that are happening. Just make sure, you know, you can see where you're losing people, where you're gaining people, hopefully where you're keeping people. But just really important to stay across that. Okay, next thing is a financial check-in. So allocating one day a week just to review your financials. So this includes what's coming in, what's going out, and of course your budgeting. And look, it is important to stay across this. I know we don't all love it, totally understand that. But we had an expert coach come into our my mastermind group call the other week, and she is a money expert, and she was saying that we really need to be doing this weekly, staying across everything weekly. So I'm just going to follow what the expert says, tracking it weekly. Okay, next one is making time for the marketing and that social media content. Now, this is going to depend on how you function, whether you do this weekly or monthly. So for us, with the studio, we had a 12-month marketing plan that I would do with my manager. And so after the concert, we'd have our concert in November, and then beginning of December, we'd have a meeting together, and we just lay out the whole year in advance. I'm sure I've spoken about this on another podcast. Anyway, so we have the 12-month marketing plan, and in that marketing plan just had all the key events and dates needed. And so we then had that, so then we could work out when we needed to start marketing things, when we needed to start advertising, when we needed to get newsletters out, things like that. So we used this 12-month marketing plan, but then, well, in the end, I had one of our staff members was doing the marketing, and so she knew exactly what was coming up. She knew exactly what she needed to design. For you, if you're doing your own marketing, this is a really good way to you stop being overwhelmed with the idea of, oh, what am I going to post this week? What am I going to do? So if you just allow yourself, whether you block it in weekly to time to create, and then or monthly, like maybe you work across the month, that's totally fine. But dedicating time is just going to just make you your life so much less stressful. Okay, next one is CEO time. So working on your business versus working in your business. So it's that long-term growth and scale plan. Okay, not the reactive stuff or the proactive. It's the proactive stuff, not the reactive stuff. And so my suggestion is to use a day like this, or even a couple of days like this, to set your goals, work on those mini projects, and plan out like growth strategies for your studio. Now, you could do this obviously in your normal office. However, I do suggest you try a different location. So whether that's going to a cafe for a couple of hours, whether it's booking into an Airbnb or a hotel for a couple of days, that works really, really well to get away from all distraction, if it's possible. And I know for a lot of you that is not possible, particularly, maybe at the moment. So for example, last August, I took myself away for 4 days. I'm very lucky. My parents have a place up the coast, so I could go there. They don't live there permanently, so I was there on my own. And I was able to just spend this 4 days and plan out the rest of the year. So I had no distractions, no interruptions, and it was just really productive. So that when I did come home, I knew exactly where I was going. And if I had have been home, it would have been constant interruptions, even just the dog interrupting and the children. My children are great, but it does break my concentration. So if you are able to get away for a bit, or even just go to a cafe, it's going to help with that working on your business side of things. Okay, and finally, personal time or personal development. So again, ideally, this would be weekly, but I'm also a realist, and I know that that is not possible all the time. But you do want to try and prioritize time for yourself, whether it's scheduling time for relaxation or rest, or whether it's booking in for the hairdresser, or whether it's going to get your nails done, or sitting at a cafe on your own or with a friend, or just simply reading a book. If you don't book it in, chances are it's not going to happen because you are so busy. You have so many things happening. You are there for so many people that sometimes I think you neglect yourself. So if you can schedule this in somewhere, like how I did in the last day of that 4th week of the month, maybe that's enough for you. If you can get it in more, absolutely go for gold. I certainly do encourage it. But Look, by implementing these specific time management strategies, you can effectively balance your responsibilities, you can streamline your operations, and focus on driving the growth and the scale in your studio. And that's what we're working for, right? Right. Okay. Well, look, I hope you found this episode helpful. If you do want to reach out and chat through your schedule and how it might look for you, please do. You can send me a DM through Instagram _Jen Dalton Instagram _, and yeah, we can be in touch. But for now, have a great week, and I look forward to being in your ears